Yay, somebody's already in the little room.
Yeah.
Really?
I think
Someone
there's
named
14
Henry.
people.
We're live.
Oh
We're
yeah,
live.
14
We're
people.
live.
Oh yeah. Awesome. Oh my God. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yes.
All right. So
John, do you have a little timer so that
No, but I got it. Yeah,
keep
I'll do
track?
that.
Okay. Okay, it looks like we're live. I see it
oh,
now.
we're live. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, everyone.
Yay!
A little bit of technical
Cool.
difficulties here because it's Michael, but whoa, it's a lot to unpack today. I think. How are you guys?
Good. I'm
Good.
pumped. I'm so excited.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin, to be honest, because it's like I wrote down so many stuff. Like I have this, I have this what you call this, like this notepad of just scribbles, and you know what? Before we even begin, let's probably just introduce ourselves real quick. So welcome to the channel for anyone who is here. I don't have a window right now to actually see who's in the chat. So if one of you guys can help me, that would be awesome. So my
Yeah.
name is Michael. Obviously, I own this channel. And welcome, Renz, Liz, and John.
Not
Guys, introduce
anymore.
yourselves. Not anymore.
It's a coup.
They're kicking me out. Guys, introduce yourselves to the audience.
Go first, Liz.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Liz from Liz Loves Tech. I'm really excited to be here, and it's going to be a fun time talking about the Apple event.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Wanna go, Renz?
Yeah, let's go. Hey everyone, my name is Renz, and I'm really excited to share a little bit of what happened.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey guys, John Imperial here, the new owner of this channel. I'm excited to talk about the Apple event. And yeah, I'm overwhelmed. So many products
Yeah.
were announced, and it's super exciting. Trying to
Yeah.
contain everything and just like not spill anything yet. But yeah, it's awesome.
Crazy.
Exciting.
Okay, so I see right now I have a little chat bubble here. I'm using my phone actually. So I see that there's 22 people in the chat. I just want to welcome them. Henry, welcome. Kale?
Kaylee.
I'm not
Kaylee, I think?
Kaylee.
Kaylee, yep.
And Asher.
Asher,
and also
yes.
Masters of Tech. Welcome.
Cool.
Wait, I think I'm going to silence my phone because it's
Cool.
echoing. But okay, guys, let's just hop right into it. I mean, there's so much to talk about, and we said we were going to try to time this to be less than an hour because obviously we have lives. So first things off, I think we should start off. I mean, we should start off with the Apple Watch because I think they just jumped right in, announced the Apple Watch Series
Yeah.
8. Yeah, I have the Apple Watch Series 1. So I'll let someone else talk about like what they think about this the whole announcement. What are your thoughts?
Okay, let me just say, I'm bummed about the Series 8. I feel like they could have done more, and
Yeah.
it seems like it's just another Series 7, but with a temperature sensor, which is cool, I guess, when you want to try to detect COVID. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just a little bummed. But of course, they did the Apple Watch Ultra, which is going to be insane. And I know you guys were loving it. I personally don't think it's for me, but
Yeah.
you guys tell me what you think about the rugged design.
Well, before we jump into that, I think I want to mention that the Apple Series 8 has the exact same design, correct?
Yeah,
As
exactly.
the
It
previous
does.
models.
Yeah.
So yeah, the notable I think features are the always on display. But I think Liz, you told me that was available in a previous model. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's available in the
Series
7. And I
Oh.
think
Oh, okay.
5.
maybe 6
as well.
Oh, 5
Okay.
also?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have the 5, and it has the always on. So
Yeah, how's your
Definitely not
battery?
Series
No.
1.
the battery life is actually pretty good. Like it's not. It's surprisingly it lasts a good amount of time. I think
Okay.
always on display sometimes is kind of annoying though. Like when I'm watching a movie, like you just see like the display and
Yeah.
and
You have to be more mindful in like turning on like the theater mode, all of that stuff. Yeah, I got the
Theater
7 like upgraded earlier this year, so I got it with the hopes that the 8 would make a big jump and just like I could compare it together, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it didn't turn out that way. I think the new like crash resistant thing is pretty cool. But yeah, it's not I guess that exciting. coming from a
Okay.
7, of course. But I think for
Okay.
most people who are holding off on like Series 5 or whatever, I think it's a good time to make that jump.
Yeah.
Okay. So my computer is starting to act up again. We might lose connection, but if it does happen, I'm just gonna hop on again. I don't know why it's doing this. It says Ren's is
Mhm.
his thing is not recording. I don't know why, but I can still
Oh,
see that we're
he
live.
just left. Yeah.
Oh, Ren's just disappeared. But I think
Bye, Rand.
oh no. So let me see if I can fix this issue real quick. So you guys might lose us for a second. We're gonna hop on back right away. Um, maybe it's just too much Apple news today, but all right.
Well,
Yeah. So
go.
actually, while we're waiting for Ren's, let me refresh this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Or Michael won't.
Oh, I was like, wait, Michael is the host. How did he leave? And then
So this is Liz's and I's like master
Now-
plan, kicking
yeah.
both of them off, kicking them out, and running the show.
yeah.
All right. Is everyone back?
Oh,
There we go.
yeah, right
I'm
here.
using my crappy camera, just because it might have been the reason why my thing wasn't working. So I'm gonna
That's okay.
switch to this smaller camera. Still waiting for Ren's.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said he's back, or
Oh man, technology. I hate technology. Just kidding. I love it. All right. So
It says he's
while we're
waiting for the host, so maybe
Okay.
we need to add him. Hey guys, check out my mug.
There you go. I see it. What's your mug say?
It's an Apple mug.
Oh, I can't see it because my
Oh.
screen is okay. Welcome back, Renz. Thank you so much. Sorry for that little mishap. So I think
Yeah.
Riverside was acting up. But let's jump back right into the Apple event conversation. So I wrote down a couple of notes regarding the Apple Watch Series 8, which I thought was really, these are the points of that we can talk about. If you guys have any input regarding any of the things that I will mention, definitely chime in. So the
Yeah.
Apple Watch Series 8 is supposedly more durable, has the always-on display, is brighter, has the same design, has the crash detection, which I think is the biggest selling point for me, because what it did is it kind of instilled that that need for me to get one so I can give it to my wife or maybe my kids or something, right? Because I'm always like, I don't know if you guys are the same, but I'm always worried whenever my wife goes to work, for example, or drives somewhere, and I'm like, I would tell
Yeah.
her to text me when she gets to the location or something like that. And whenever she fails to do that for whatever reason, I tend to get worried. So my main worry is that I hope she didn't get into any accident. So the crash detection is a huge thing for me. So I think it's great that they're including this in the new watch. So although the hardware physically it might still look the same, I think the software improvements are really interesting. The low power mode, I think it's available from Series 4 and up with the new watch OS 9. And then international roaming for cellular models starting from Series 5 and up. 3 new bands new bands with 3 new colors for the watch. Here's the thing that kind of made me laugh though. The new Nike faces are now available
Yeah.
for every other for all models. So please educate me on this one. I wasn't aware that there were watch faces that were limited to certain watches. That's interesting because it's a digital product, right? Like the software can run watch faces regardless of what they look like. I mean, for the most part. But I didn't know that Apple
Yeah.
actually did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
depends on
special
which
to
model-
Nike. Yeah.
Model
see.
you get, like Nike or even Hermes has like their own like watch faces as well. But and I think it costs more too, like the Nike, watches. But
I think it's
That's
the
cool
same
they're adding it.
price.
Yeah, that's cool. It's also interesting because it's like, one of the reasons why you buy watches is because of the face, right? Like I like analog watches. The main reason I buy analog watches is because I like the way they look. So for a digital product, for them to limit what you can see or what you can have on display was an interesting move. But again, this is coming from someone who has not bought an Apple Watch since the Series 1. What were you going to
Yeah.
say, Liz? I think you were going to say something.
I was just gonna say, I think the reason why they limited the faces was because it was exclusive to Nike or exclusive to the Hermes, and it made it more exciting that, oh hey, I have these Apple Watch faces that no one else can get unless you buy that specific watch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now they're just opening it up, which actually I appreciate because there's a Nike Pride face that I have always wanted, and I'm excited that I'll finally be able to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that is cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware. That's a pretty cool. Let's call it what it is. It's a marketing move.
Yeah.
I thought being able to open that up to like a wider audience later on, gives you that sense of like, remember when Omega, if you guys are familiar with the brand Omega, did a collaboration with Swatch, a company that essentially is also owned by Omega, but it's a lower tier company, so it's cheaper, more accessible to people, and they made that collaboration where it's like an Omega Swatch watch, so you're buying like a $300 Omega watch. I think that was like the price. So in the beginning, I was like, well, wouldn't that cheapen the brand? But not really. It was basically just giving access to people who, wouldn't be able to afford the more expensive Omega watch. So I think that's kind of like what they did here. They basically opened up the doors and said, okay, you guys can have the watch face now. I just thought it was
It's
really
nice because
interesting.
like when I had the Apple, I have the Series 5, but I found a way to get the watch faces. Like what you said, Mike.
Really?
It's just software. So there was like a tutorial on YouTube. It's like how to get the Nike and
How
Hermes watch
interesting.
faces. Yeah, and I did
That's-
it.
that's
But
crazy.
obviously, it's not as good because like the complications are all
Okay.
messed up. It's like not aligned.
I
But
think
yeah,
we
you
have
could-
Tim Cook in the chat right now asking for your contact information, Renz. He wants to talk to you. One thing I did notice about the Apple Watch, an observation. So for the most part, during the event, I just tried to observe as much as possible. The one thing I did notice is, well, first of all, the focus on women's health. I think that's very apt, considering the recent events. So it's more than just, oh, we're watching out for women's health, but it's, there's a little bit more to it, I feel like, which is great. It's definitely something that I feel like other companies are going to try to also, try to achieve the same, I guess, messaging. The other thing is that the Apple Watch in the beginning, when they first launched it, I originally thought that they were going to position themselves as, or the Apple Watch as the replacement for the iPhone, right? Like you're able to answer, like take calls,
Oh.
make calls, send messages, check your emails, whatever it is. So I thought it was going to be the new futuristic phone, which is going to be on your wrist. But after seeing today's presentation, it just solidified, to me at least, that what they're making the Apple Watch is basically the one accessory that you cannot live without, because they're more focused on health and safety versus anything else. So I think that's
Yes.
a brilliant move for them, because you still need your iPhone. You can access some of the things on using your Apple Watch,
Yeah.
but the added safety features of the Apple Watch makes it almost essential to have that that bubble of safety that you feel.
Yeah.
We
It'll-
just lost
we
Renz.
lost Renz again.
Seems like it's an internet problem, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably
I
an
don't know.
internet problem. So, but what do you guys think?
But I agree with you. I think basically what Apple's trying to do is say, like, this watch can save your life, and that's why you should buy it, and that's why you absolutely need it. That's their marketing strategy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that the Series 8 is great. Do we want to talk about the new one, the elephant in the room with the Ultra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, we do want to talk about the Ultra.
Yes.
While we're waiting for Renz to hop back on, the Watch SE was also mentioned. So basically, it's the older watch, not old. Well,
It's like
the
the
cheaper,
4 and 5. Yeah.
Yeah, the 4 and 5, and then
Oh, even
Renz is
6.
back.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they mentioned regarding the SE was that it has 3 new colors with redesigned back casing,
Yeah.
some safety features from the Apple Watch,
Yeah.
and this actually was appealing. Welcome back, Renz. The fact that it's cheaper, and kids can actually use this to send messages, to send
Yeah.
their location. which again made it very attractive to me because it's one of those things that, I do want to consider one of these for my kids
Yeah.
one day. Because it's, again, that safety net that it's providing. The Apple Watch is basically your safety device.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. The way
I
they
think
did
the
that.
biggest thing there was the addition of just that crash detection again. And
Yeah.
just like how you don't have to compromise that even at that low price.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think that was a good call on Apple to like include that in the cheaper, the entry level option.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna talk about the Ultra. So I know we have
Yes.
thoughts on the Ultra. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'll let you guys do it.
Who wants to go first on the
I'm
Ultra?
not gonna
not-
buy it, so
I'm not getting it for sure, just because it's just so big and like
Yeah.
even right now, like I have the 44 watch. It's already like really big. Like I might even downgrade to like a 40, just because I don't know if I've like. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's definitely not in my style, I guess, to like have a big watch. But I did like G-Shocks before. If you guys
Yeah.
like those.
Mhm. How about you, John? What
Yeah,
are your
I
thoughts on it?
downsized to the smaller size this year. So I think I have the 41 and it's 49 millimeters. I don't know if the physical size of it is closer to the 45, but the screen is 49, but I doubt that. And so it's hard for me to really consider it. And the fact that, like there's no real reason for somebody like me other than looks to get something like it. It's overkill for, like what I was thinking of earlier. It's like, okay, if I buy this watch, I'm going to be wearing it in my home office, being warm, drinking a cup of coffee. And like, man, I mean, I'm in Alaska. I could pretend that I'm going to go on glacier hikes every day, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
gonna
No,
order
but
it.
it's super interesting. Like, I wish they made just like I know what I think their focus this year is really separating their products a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you see that later down, with the phones and stuff. And so I think this is another separation. But I think most consumers would find something in between the Series 8 and the Ultra to be more in their use, like something that fits them more. This one is kind of very niche, and I don't see a lot of people getting it other than, they have a lot of money, have the newest and greatest. But
Right.
yeah, crazy battery life, 36 hours on a single
Yeah.
charge, right?
Mhm.
60 hours, they said, on extended battery, which is coming later this fall when they have the low power mode. It's amazing. Like, if they had a smaller size, they might be able to like encourage me to buy it. But
Right.
Yeah.
49 millimeters,
Yeah.
it's
And
a little too big.
I feel like the type of person who would buy this type of watch, somebody who's like always outdoors and is like doing extreme sports, is really not the type of person to be super techie. Does that make sense? So I think it's
Yeah.
interesting that they are creating this watch that is so rugged and, for these ultra marathoners and Ironman people. But like those type of people will probably just want a regular watch. I mean, unless you're going like scuba diving every weekend, like I don't know. I don't think it appeals to like a wide audience.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're just trying to be a solution for everybody. So that kind of person can have just an Apple Watch now too for all of their
Yeah.
needs.
That's true.
But I'm curious how well received it'll be within the how much
Well-
how much people will actually buy it.
We'll find out after I get mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm the only one who seems to be really interested in it, who's actually going to
Yeah.
buy it. And for, just to be clear, I am nowhere near. I am not. I don't climb mountains. The only thing I climb are my stairs, and I get
standing
tired
desk.
right away. That's the only thing. However, I'll say this: I have diverse watches. I have
Okay.
a bunch of analog watches. I buy them for the looks, for the design, for just the quality. And I'm looking at this watch, the Ultra, and it appealed to me not because of where I could possibly take it, but just because it looked different enough. And so Liz and I had a discussion yesterday on the podcast about how different this Pro model is going to be. And then I'm like, I think it's a step back in design. But after seeing the actual presentation, the one that I saw was the render, slightly different. But looking at the titanium body, It looks amazing. So real quick, so rundown on the Ultra. It's going to be it has a rugged titanium case, sapphire crystal, 49 millimeters. So it's a big watch. It's a big boy. Has a second speaker, so it's easier to hear when you're using it to make phone calls, even in like a windy environment. Cellular built in. Has a special watch face with night mode, which is cool. I saw that one. You can just kind of scroll the crown or, rotate the crown, however you call it, and it switches to night mode, which looks good. 3 special bands. There's a diver's watch. There's a track. There's a alpine. I think it's for mountain climbing. New GPS tech, which I didn't really get the details on that one, but basically just better GPS. The action button is actually really fascinating. Definitely for people for triathletes, when they're wearing gloves, for example, when it's really cold and they need to, press something without having to use the actual screen. I think that's a really cool idea. It has auto detection for when you're in the water, and it also it can go up to like 130 feet underwater. So it also has a dive planner. So these are like the main features of the watch. It's priced, I kind of guessed it right. I priced at $800, which, to be frank, I was kind of surprised because I thought it was going to be as expensive as an iPhone. However, because it does not function like a phone, it kind of supports the phone features. It makes sense that it's still priced below the Pro models, the Pro phones, right? So it's not necessarily. I mean, it's priced as the same as an iPhone, the iPhone 14, but not the Pro models. So I guess that's a pleasant surprise, and I do want to get it just because I've always had this problem with smartwatches. I feel like that's why the only smartwatch I have, or I bought, the only Apple Watch that I bought was the Series 1, because after a year, I felt like it's not as good anymore. Maybe after 2 or 3 years, it's not as good. Unlike my analog watches, they can last for pretty much forever, right? So it's analog. It's still gonna look great. It's not gonna stop working if you have a new phone. So that was my problem with the Apple Watch to begin with. But after seeing the Ultra, I mean, that looks really promising. Technology has come a very long way since the Series 1. So I think I'm very hopeful, I guess, that the software in the Ultra will last much longer than the regular Apple Watches. I'm not really sure. I think it's still running the same thing. But to answer what Liz was saying earlier, a counterpoint, Liz, to what you were saying earlier about people who are active, like extreme sports and stuff. There is actually a market for people who do this, and they buy really expensive GPS watches, really expensive Garmin's. They make a bunch, and they're not the best looking watches. They're very hard to press, very minimal in information. So it makes sense in that market for them to purchase basically the same watch, like expensive, but does a lot more. I'm not that market, but it's still attractive for me. I do want to test it out. I do want to try it. So I think I'm definitely going to buy one. I think it looks great. So we'll see how that looks. People are going to make fun of me, but that's okay. Everyone makes fun of me anyway. I make fun of myself all the time. So, and
no,
what's that?
I'm actually interested in trying it out. Like,
Yeah.
It's just that it's hard to say that I'll keep it, especially for that price point.
Yes.
$800 for something that I might not wear every time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
or I mean, I'll wear it every time, but I might not make the most out of it.
Right.
It looks really
I'm definitely
nice.
not gonna make the
it
most
looks
out of
really
it.
nice.
You
I'll
won't
give
see
them-
me making a YouTube video from under the water. You know what I mean? Or from the top of a mountain.
Unless
That's
you're Tom
definitely not
Cruise.
going to happen. Yeah. So, but I definitely do want to try it out. I want to see just how it feels, like how the screen looks. And I kind of like actually really like the flat screen design. Liz and I talked about that.
Yeah.
I prefer that over the bubble, but we'll see. We'll see how it actually looks. I have very small wrists, so it's going to look,
It's gonna be massive on you.
yeah, I'm gonna look like I'm wearing my dad's watch. You know what I mean? Like I'm a 6-year-old wearing my dad's watch. But we'll see. We'll see how it looks.
Awesome.
Any other thoughts about the Ultra?
I also
What do you guys
like
think about the Ultra name?
The
Oh,
action
that's the one I
button.
have issues with. Oh, go ahead, Ren. Sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The action button I think is really cool. Just because like I find myself like if I'm working out, I have to like go to the workout app, press that, like press the workout. But like if you can custom map it to just like press the button and you can just work out and it does that. I think that's a great feature that I wish they added to the 8. I think that would have been so cool to just like add a little button, like a custom
Yeah.
button. But yeah,
You could always tell Siri to start a workout for you. That's what I do.
that's true too. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so I'm
nice.
gonna pin that comment because that's going to be related with the AirPods that we're gonna talk about next. But before we
Yes.
jump into that, I want to ask you guys, well, how do you guys feel about the naming, the Ultra line? Do you think that's something that's gonna be like moving forward? It's going to be another arm of Apple from the Pro models to like their extreme models, which is
You
gonna
know
be
what's
like
funny? I feel like this is like one of the perfect times to name something Pro,
Yeah.
and then they went with Ultra. I mean, I get it, like the use
It's-
case is to the extreme, but I really wish they named it Pro. I think their naming convention is kind of going all over the place too with like stuff, and
I have a
I'm
con-
not a fan of Ultra.
I have a counter argument for that one. So remember when the iPod came out, the iPod, and then the iPhone came out, and then everything I. Remember how every manufacturer out there, every brand started to name everything iHome, everything. So Apple, if they want to separate themselves from those brands, like they always want to be the leader. They always want to be different. Like they're just not the type of company or culture who is going to be okay with having everyone else, with having the same name as everyone else. So when they started releasing the Pro models, guess what happened? Now everyone has a Pro model. Pro this, Pro that. Almost every company has that. So I think this is their way of, again, separating themselves from the rest of the market. So this is going to be interesting. I think I want to see how this progresses over the next few months. If we'll see an Ultra case, an Ultra phone, whatever, an Ultra line of, because that
I mean,
only proves
there
Samsung
a
already does
M1?
that too.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah.
So,
So-
Apple is following Samsung.
Yeah.
That
So
is
I'm-
true.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't buy I don't have any Android phones, so I'm not familiar. But that is true. Okay, so my counterpoint has been demolished by Samsung. So moving on.
Wait, but isn't there? They already have Ultra with the MacBook chip, right? The M1 Ultra.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
not completely new to Apple. That's
Yeah,
what I was
no,
trying to
no.
figure
I
out.
think
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're just surprised at the fact that they brought the Ultra name to an actual hardware, like the actual product itself.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
what's
actually-
inside. Yeah.
I'm curious if they are gonna come out with something in between and call it Pro.
Pro
I
Ultra.
doubt it. Was that?
Pro Ultra.
No.
Pro
Like
Ultra?
just Pro.
Another
Like,
model.
yeah. When they like build it up, but I don't think they do that. I think they're really maybe separating it. That's why they named it Ultra.
Okay.
I think right now they're really about separation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liz and I talked
Yeah.
about that. Like I was expecting them to separate the Pro models a little bit more from the regular models, but it seems like they're still following the same formula. We'll wait until we get the new, like the refresh of the iPhone 14. It's going to be called the S maybe, or the 14 Ultra. We're not sure. I'm guessing Ultra, but I'm not
But
sure.
they haven't done an S model on a phone in a while since
The
10s.
10, yeah, the
Because then they
10S.
went to 12, 13, 14. So they might just
Yeah.
keep going up.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So we'll
Someone
wait.
in the chat, Kyle said Apple Watch Studio. It's maybe what they'll call.
Hey, you
Next
can
one.
edit your YouTube videos on the Apple Watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine.
49
Final cut
millimeter
on the Apple
screen.
Watch.
Final cut on the Apple Watch.
That's
Oh,
funny.
that's terrible. Awesome.
All right.
right,
Well,
so
what
we're gonna
about
Did you guys
the
catch-
AirPods? Oh, go ahead.
Would you be able to use your old bands with the Ultra?
They
don't
didn't
think so.
say.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think it's a specific. I think because I remember watching it and they were saying that they have 3 bands. So to me that just meant you only have a choice of 3. So to me that just meant I guess I feel like it has its special band, especially since the case is humongous.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of the bands will fit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
The case is
Yeah.
humongous.
I
Kinda
want to see
the
like all
design,
the
though.
drop tests for this Apple Watch Ultra. I'm so curious to see
I'm
like
gonna
how
do that.
durable this thing is.
I'm gonna do that. I'm definitely
You're
gonna
gonna
try
do
it
it?
out. Yeah, I'm gonna try it out. Maybe not to an
Good luck.
extreme, but just like for someone who has two little kids who are I'm always wrestling with, and maybe drop it from the. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna see. I'm nervous, but the ad made it feel like it really is durable. So I'm gonna try to see.
So I just looked it up on the website, and it looks like it will be compatible
Oh,
with
interesting.
the 44 millimeter and the 45 millimeter. But
Okay, so-
the new bands that are made for the Ultra, they're gonna fit the best for that watch. They'll still fit the older models, but it's not gonna fit as nicely. That's what it says.
It's good to know.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. All right.
I didn't get rid of my bigger band, so that's good.
All right, so let's
All right,
jump into the
AirPods.
AirPods Pro. So no AirPods, no regular AirPods, just the AirPods Pros. Initial reaction is they look the same. What do you guys think?
I mean, why mess with a design that's already decent?
That's true. H2 chip, same design, personalized spatial audio, which if you guys haven't tried it yet, spatial audio is
Amazing.
fantastic. Not all media support it, so I know Netflix does. Even some of the shows that I watch on Amazon Prime, I think, support it. Some YouTube videos, I think. I'm not even sure if that's true, but it's amazing. Love it. Not very happy with the design. That's one of the reasons why I'm happy with my Beats Fit, because they're smaller. You don't get the stem. Work just as great as the AirPods Pros. So the only thing that's calling me, like with the Pros, the H2 chip. I mean, with the H2 chip, you basically get advanced ANC, so active noise cancellation, which is already impressive from a device that's really small. So
Yep.
to have it like be as twice as effective, I think it's very interesting. I'd love to see that or try it out. The new position finding tool, whatever it is that you use when you're looking for the case.
Yes, I'm
That's
so
actually
excited
really
about
cool.
that.
That one's
Yeah.
that one's cool.
That one's really cool. The what is it? The speaker in the case. So so for prompts or for when you're looking for it, so it actually beeps, which is basically these are like fighting words for companies like what are those little
The
binder
little
things?
hang, yeah.
Yeah.
You can put like
Lanyard.
a carabiner on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also the fact that they added that hook for the lanyard. All these third-party companies are scratching their heads. They're like, "Oh, great! How do we?" Yeah, it's a shame, but I mean, yeah, Apple's like, "All right, we want to keep all the market share, so yeah, we'll just add a little loop for the lanyard, and we're gonna add a little speaker so that people don't have to buy a third-party like locator or something like that." What else? The one thing, Apple Watch MagSafe. Oh, it works with MagSafe and the Apple Watch charger. That's really interesting.
Yes. I think the AirPods 3 case does that, right?
With Apple Watch charger? I didn't know.
I'm not
Or
sure
with
about.
MagSafe, yeah.
With MagSafe, yes, but
One
oh,
of
wait,
the newer
not MagSafe.
casing. Oh.
Really? Because I had the AirPods Pros. No, it didn't work with MagSafe. It worked.
No,
with
not
it
that
But there
wireless.
was a new case that they released though that was MagSafe compatible.
Interesting. Okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't aware of that. Okay. One thing I'm not excited about, I really don't like this at all, is the touch control. I thought that was pointless. One of the reasons why I like the AirPods Pro is because the stem was shorter and that you had to squeeze it. You can actually feel like some sort of haptic feedback so that, it's just not intuitive to try to do this. If you guys can see it, it's like I'm cleaning my ears.
Well,
and I'm adjusting
So
the
there's
Isn't
no
it for
button at all?
adjustments too? I think it's just an added thing, or I thought it was just an added thing. You could still like
Press it.
press it.
But it's
Yeah.
a feature that I will never use.
I would like it like when I'm working out and like I need to adjust volume or whatnot. If that could quite catch it,
Like
if that,
swipe it.
that's a feature you could do. Yeah,
Yeah, you can
I think
swipe
that
it.
would be a big help
So
when I'm constantly adjusting volume.
So
Unless you
their
sweat a lot.
answer to that, for the AirPods Pros, the previous model is that you tell Siri. That's basically how it worked. You tell
Yeah.
her to adjust the volume.
I'm
Because
not
the
gonna
stem
do
was
that at the gym.
Yeah, and it's such
That's
a
weird.
small thing, and I already have small hands. You know, I'm like smaller than any regular person, so I can't even imagine like an average sized guy or person to do this without getting frustrated because it's like, yeah, I'm like you're like cleaning your ears. I don't know. That's me personally. I don't like that thing. I
Yeah.
don't think I'll ever like it. Let's just put it that way. But I'm not gonna get the AirPods Pros just because I'm happy with my Beats Fit Pros. What do you guys think? Are you guys, any of you, getting the AirPods Pros?
I'm gonna upgrade it. Yeah, and I'll probably
Yeah.
get engraving too.
The Memoji. Which Memoji are you getting?
No
The
way, cause like the emojis, sometimes I'm just not sure if it really looks like me, and it's just too much pressure to adjust it. So I'll probably just
Just
get
stare
like
forever.
Liz Loves Tech or something.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
No, I think I'm getting the AirPods also. Opposite of Michael, I like that new touch thing. I think it'd be a
This
really
way.
cool thing. But the battery life is the biggest thing. Just, they talked about 6 hours and then plus 30 more with the case. I'm bummed because every time you buy tech, somewhat, at least for me, when I upgrade, I want like upgrade my phones now every 2 years. So at least there's a difference in looks. And the fact that they stuck with how it looks or how it's designed just bumps me out a little bit.
I'm actually
it's
surprised
like,
they didn't even
ah.
release a different color.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Right?
Just
space
adjusted
black
it
would
a
look
little
so
bit,
Yeah,
tweaked.
just a
good.
little bit.
Yeah.
And
That's
call
because
it-
they put the colors in the beats, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Or maybe they're calling this new white color a great shade of white.
Okay, that's a perfect segue. That's a perfect segue because
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
at our
let's move
time limit
forward.
for the
okay.
AirPods, anyways. But the iPhone 14, it's basically an iPhone 13 Pro, but they added a new, what is it, Michael? A
It's a-
great new shade of blue.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean you're not going to call it Sierra Blue? Like,
That is
that's so
funny.
rude.
I mean, I would be really upset. I would be really upset if when you're ordering it online and it doesn't say that. I'm gonna choose the great shade, the great shade of blue as my color. I just
You know what? I'm
thought it
going
was
to check right
hilarious.
now.
I just thought it was hilarious. But yeah, Liz is right. It's basically an iPhone 13 Pro rebranded into an iPhone 14 and one of the lenses was taken out. So it's a dumbed down version of the iPhone 13 Pro. However, it does have some newer tech inside. So it's not completely, old. So it has, first of all, it has the plus line like the iPhone 13 Pro. It has 1200 nits of peak brightness, which is pretty bright. Supports Dolby Vision. Same design, ceramic shield, 5 colors. I wrote it down. Great new shade of blue.
It's
Runs
just
off of
called
the-
blue on the website.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm
Disappointed.
sad.
Apple.
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
A15 Bionic chip with same from the last one, 6-core, 16-core neural engine. Better stabilization. They didn't really talk much about it other than, or maybe I just missed, because this was the only part of the event that I felt okay to walk away from and
Yeah.
take a bathroom break.
But yeah, I did the same exact thing.
Yeah. So I didn't really miss anything. I asked John and Liz, and they said it's pretty much the same thing, right? I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
lose anything. I hope. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Improved camera, that photonic engine, I think was.
What do they call
was
it again?
cool.
I missed that one. Photonic engine?
Yeah, photonic engine.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
they were saying it's about 2 to 2.5 times better in low light. And then there's active mode right now for the camera. Basically better stabilization for
Is it active or action mode?
action. Action.
Action mode.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
so
action.
just
Yep.
Better stabilization. Okay.
I'm curious about the eSIM,
yeah.
right? Because it's like, like when you're traveling, if it's only US and Canada, like I wonder if eSIM is already adapted in other countries, and I'm not sure about that. And so I
Yeah.
might keep my iPhone 12 Pro for traveling for now, at least.
Yeah. This is also the first phone that will be supported with satellite connectivity, right?
Yes.
That's cool.
Okay. But we all know it's limited, and I think this is a move that just lines up with whatever T-Mobile is doing right now, which is connecting with Starlink. So if you guys are not aware of this particular tech news, basically T-Mobile is working with Starlink so that they can make calls using Starlink. Starlink is a satellite company owned by communications company owned by Elon Musk, and it's starting to gain a lot more popularity, I guess. And it's interesting. So this is I would say what do you call it? Like an initial move from Apple to just start introducing this technology. Because I'm sure, like for me, for example, when I hear of this technology, I'm very skeptical about it. It's not like when you say satellite, like, oh, I have signal everywhere. Even in the ad that they made, they were very clear that you need to be in an area where there are no obstruction. So you can't be in the middle of the forest. You have to be outside with nothing that's obstructing the sky.
Yeah, it could take a little bit more if
Yeah.
you're within
And
that.
you're also looking for the best signal for
Satellite.
the satellite. Yeah, you're kind of tracing it. But the fact that you are able to do this is actually really cool because again, these are for people who probably buy the Ultra watch. I'm just gonna call it the Ultra watch from now on.
Yeah.
Who live in the extremes, and they have a special satellite phone just for that.
Yeah.
So
You mean like
imagine
me in
having-
Alaska?
yeah, John lives in the extreme. The delivery people hate John.
So cold. So cold.
We have to ship all the way to John.
Yeah.
So this is the best for FedEx and Amazon delivery for John, just for
Be
John.
able to contact me.
Yeah. So, I think
Yeah.
I think really that's pretty much it. The price is the same, right? As
Yeah.
How they've always been the same, around
Yeah.
700 to 800.
Yeah.
$7.99.
$7.99 and $8.99 for. Which I'm actually surprised. There were a lot of talks about them raising like prices, even for the pros, and I'm surprised that they kind of stayed the same price.
Because
Yeah.
there's
Good for everybody.
very good for everybody, definitely. Any other thoughts about the iPhone 14?
What did you
I know
guys
it
think of
wasn't-
the addition of the Plus?
I think that's awesome because a lot of people want the bigger phone, but they don't need the Pro. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really good sell. I think it'll probably be a very popular phone.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think of my
Yeah,
mom,
like-
and I was like,
Yeah.
this is perfect
Yeah.
for her. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, my mother-in-law has the iPhone 13, and she's kind of like pretty old, so she needs like a bigger phone. So I think the 14 Plus is great for that.
In the chat, they said that the price is like one guy's in the Netherlands, and the price is
Bram.
increased a lot. Bram.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. It sucks that I mean I forget that sometimes I just live in this bubble that I feel like the U.S. is the only place.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Well, okay. So I guess we can move on from the 14 because I'm guessing no one is particularly excited over it. Great for
Yeah.
people who are upgrading from maybe the iPhone 12, right? iPhone 11 or 12 and below. I would say this would be a great upgrade instead of going. But then again, here's a question though. I want to ask you guys this question: would you get the iPhone 13 Pro, which is going to be significantly cheaper if you buy it somewhere else? Obviously, they probably still have stock of it, or an iPhone 14.
I would go with the Pro.
You'd go to the Pro. You get
Yeah.
the extra camera.
You get the extra camera, and most people are not going to need the satellite. And you get the 120 hertz display on the 13 Pro,
That
which is
is
not
true.
on the 14, which
Yeah.
really makes a difference.
Oh, I'm so curious how this is going to affect the sales of the 14. Sometimes I wonder if they just come out with these lower models to 14 and deliberately make them unattractive so that people are forced to buy, not forced, but you're more inclined to buy the Pro models just because
No,
it's like
I
But
think.
Apple's, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Liz.
I was just gonna say Apple's no longer gonna sell the 13 Pro. You're only gonna be able to get it at like a Best Buy or another third-party vendor.
Yeah.
Like I can even see on their website, it's gone.
Yeah. And it's actually interesting because I think that's just us thinking that way because a lot of people, family, friends have asked me, like, every time a new phone comes out, say, hey, should I get the 12, 13, now 14, like, as opposed to the previous generation Pro? And almost all of them decide on getting the newer phone as opposed to getting the past Pro phone. just because they're not really looking at it from a practicality standpoint or like feature standpoint. Sometimes
Yeah.
people just want the newest thing, and whether they give up a little bit here and there,
They
yeah,
don't really care. They just
Yeah.
want, I have the latest model. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
That's interesting. When I worked at Best Buy and Apple, most people would actually go for the discounted phone, like the older model, because they didn't feel like they needed the latest and greatest. And if they could get a good deal, save some money,
Yeah.
then that's the way they go. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess it really just depends
that's
on the
interesting.
person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It really just depends, I guess. Yeah, but there is a market for each side.
Yeah.
I guess that's the point.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
Let's
the new
move
colors
on.
too. Some people just colors. If
Actually,
they like the
yeah.
color. This is
Liz
what
and
I'm
I were
getting.
talking about that
100%.
yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm about to buy the 14 plus just so I could get Sierra Blue.
You mean the great shade of blue?
Great shade of blue.
The great shade of blue.
All right, so-
Pro.
14
Pro.
Pro. All right,
Yes.
the main event.
The
I don't know. Did you guys
The
feel like this
island.
was? Okay, yes, the island, the dynamic island was. Okay, let's do a rundown of the features. It has the notch. It's in a pillbox design. It's in the form of a pillbox design, so it looks like a little pill. But it also is dynamic. So it's animated and it's called the dynamic island, which is basically a very, very creative way of doubling down on the notch. Instead of eliminating it, like how people have been wanting Apple to do for the last how many years, and other companies are making fun of them for still having a notch. They're like, you know what? We're going to keep it, but we're going to make it look awesome. So it doesn't
Yes.
add anything other than just that quirkiness, that really
Yep.
nice animation. And because of that simple thing, I mean, just based on the footage that we were shown from the event, it already makes it feel like it's a phone from the future.
Yeah.
Because of the way it animates, it's like, okay, this is really, it's so dumb that it's so cool. That's how I feel about it. It's
Yeah,
like, I
yeah,
want to buy
yeah.
it because, and it's the dumbest idea for me to buy a phone just for that. But again, it adds to the overall experience. So
Yeah, the integration was really awesome.
yeah, it's really awesome. So 4 colors. There's space black, not space gray, silver, gold, and purple. The purple one looks really nice. I think, is it Liz? Yeah, you said you wanted.
I'm gonna get it probably.
Okay.
Cause like,
It's nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Disappointingly, they didn't add a new camera for the front-facing camera. Just an improved. What did they call it? I wrote it down here. True depth camera. So it's improved, I think, software-wise, but still the same. What is it? 1080? Is it this same? I don't even know what the resolution is of the front-facing camera. But that's the one thing I wished that Apple improved, but they didn't. 2,000 nits of peak brightness, which is significantly higher than the iPhone 14.
Yeah, that's crazy.
With the new lock screen with always on display, which is cool. I'll make a note though. I thought that was pretty funny how they said this new technology, whatever it is so great that when the phone dims, like your lock screen dims, the colors are still amazing. And I'm like, I don't really care. I don't really care if the colors are amazing. It dims for a reason, right? Like it dims so it doesn't distract you. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone looking at a dimmed screen saying, man, the colors are off. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny that they included that, but that's a good feature. I mean, that's a good feature that they added the always on and the dimming feature, I guess.
I think
you were gonna
maybe
say something,
because
Liz?
in the Samsung phones, at least from the ones I don't really look at them anymore, to be honest. But
Yeah.
back when it was like Samsung S9 or whatever, they had the always on display, and it was mostly just like monotone colors. I mean, maybe it was like a light shade of blue or something. So maybe Apple wants to differentiate the fact that, even with the always on display, it's gonna have some color to see rather than, just it being kind of like black. Oh, Kyle
Okay.
says the new ones have color, so defeats the purpose of my comment. Sorry.
That's okay.
Technology is
aware of that,
advancing.
so yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Thank you, Kyle. What else? It has the Super Retina XDR display. Can someone explain that to me, please? Because to me,
No, I think they were
phones-
saying that it matches the brightness of the screen matches that of
Oh, the XDR.
XDR display.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for people who are actually, for filmmakers who are actually using their iPhones to make films, it's going to match the very
Yeah.
niche.
Cool.
Yeah,
A
it's super
very
bright.
niche.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's
Interesting.
basically, yeah.
You know what would be cool is if one time Apple films an entire Apple keynote with an iPhone and
I'm
then
actually waiting
tell
for
us
them to
that.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
I
know?
think I think I heard someone talk about this in a previous podcast, how they always try to paint. I mean, let's get something straight first. I think the best video quality from any phone is
Yeah.
still from the iPhone. And
Agree.
it works, it's very consistent, super reliable. However, no matter how good it looks, I mean, we got close, I think, with the iPhone 13 because Matt Envision proved it in his latest, in one of his YouTube videos, proved it to me that you don't need a fancy camera to make a YouTube video.
Yeah.
However, at some point when you're watching it, like what Liz said, if you were to make an entire, I don't know, keynote using a phone, you will still notice that it came from a
Yes.
phone, right?
Yeah.
There are physical limitations to what a device can actually do with the smaller sensors and the lack of glass when what they're using with the lenses, right? But however, I will say that it's really good though at this point that you can literally make YouTube videos using just your iPhone. I've seen a couple of creators do that already, and I feel
Oh, absolutely.
so ashamed that I have cameras that I set up and I, get stressed over, and I'm like, I should just use my phone.
Yeah.
It
I
should
started
work
my
fine.
channel with my phone, so
Yeah,
That's
there's
great.
really
You
nothing
too.
wrong
Yeah,
with it.
exactly. So it has the new A16 chip, which is 20%. It consumes 20% less power compared to the A15, which translates to better battery life. Has a 48 megapixel camera with a 65% larger sensor. That's significantly larger, which means more light can be detected by the sensor. Better light, low light performance. I think it says up to twice the low light performance compared to the 13 Pro. Has a new 24 millimeter focal length, which gives us, so if you have the iPhone 13 Pro, you have the 0.5, like the half times focal length for the ultra wide, right? And then you have the regular one, and then it jumps to like ×3 for the telephoto. Surprisingly, I've been wanting that ×2. So the addition of that, yeah, it's really funny because it's like when I'm taking pictures of
Yeah.
my kids, I'm like
Yeah.
trying to zoom in, and I'm like, okay, they're too far, and I hit the ×3, and it's like
Yeah.
I can only see their noses. They're like, okay, this is way too close. I
Mm.
need something that's kind of in the middle. So the ×2 I think is great. And yeah, with I don't know, I didn't really get any other details about the 24 millimeter focal length that they added. It supports Pro RAW, so you can take photos of landscapes. That actually, I do want to try this one out, and I'm curious to see. I don't know if Brady's in the chat. Do you guys know if Brady's in the chat?
he was earlier, but
Oh, he was
I'm not
earlier. So
sure.
Brady is a photographer, and he loves landscape photography. He does have the iPhone. I don't know if he's getting the new one, but I would love to see an actual landscape photo using the new iPhone because
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
do
blown
work
up.
amazing. I tried that in a recent trip, not recent, but in the beginning of the year. I just used my iPhone for some landscapes, and they came out much better than my mirrorless because of the high dynamic range. It's it's pretty amazing.
And that new like photonic engine again, just
Photonic. I don't know if I can
Okay,
get
yeah,
used
that'd
to
be
that.
so-
Photonic.
dynamic
That cinematic
island.
mode, though.
Photonic
Uh,
engine.
Cinematic
Actually,
mode updated 4K
Oh, yeah.
now 24.
Yes, that'll be so
Dude,
good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, someone talk about that, please, because I think I missed that one.
Yeah, I think so the cinematic mode right now it's capped at 1080p, and from my testing, it's kind of it's hit or miss. Like in bright daylight situations, it's really nice. Like you'll get nice bokeh, and but I think once you get to like low light, that's when it starts to be like fuzzy. You start to see a little bit of fuzz.
Mm.
But I'm curious to see if the quality is better now because now you could record it up to 4K. But I'm curious to see how they updated it. because it looks really good. I love cinematic mode for like
Yeah.
everything.
I've not tried cinematic mode. Admittedly, I forgot that I have that on my phone.
Oh, Michael.
I should probably try it. Like I said, because I usually just take pictures of my kids. You know, so it's like, and the only reason I upgraded to the 13 Pro was because the Mini, which I love dearly, just wasn't cutting it anymore. Like the battery life, the memory, I needed something bigger with also a better camera. So I'm like, might as well just upgrade to the 13 Pro. But that's coming from someone who just wants to capture every moment reliably and not really bothered by any of the because I really believe I'm just gonna say this for me personally. I'm not a filmmaker, but if I were a filmmaker, I'm not gonna buy a phone to make films. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
I view it. Yeah.
But I think with what we do, it's a very viable option, and to have that in your pocket, right, anytime
Yeah.
Yes.
for
Especially when
traveling,
you're
you don't
traveling.
have to bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also like
Yeah.
the addition of the telephoto because I find myself just using the ultra wide and the regular. So now that you're able to use like the telephoto because the quality is a bit better, I think that forces people to like, oh, maybe I could try this little telephoto thing, which
Yeah.
is a great tool to have, especially if you're like shooting from far away. Like you said, like if you're trying to capture your kids and they're
Yeah.
running around, right?
Yeah.
You can't like have an ultra wide and like go up
No.
close to them,
The ultra wide is also so funky to use because it distorts
Yeah.
everything so much. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
And it's
elongated
fuzzy
everything.
sometimes too.
What's that?
Yeah, it's fuzzy at times too.
Yes,
like,
it's
especially
fuzzy.
low light.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see since they updated the low light capabilities of the new phones to really like test it, like if
Right.
it still holds up.
And then they also have action mode, just like the other models, and the SOS via satellite is also available. And I think that's pretty much it. And it's, I guess, the biggest, not really surprise, but a sigh of relief, let's just call it, is that it's priced the same
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
any other iPhone that comes out new. So there's no increase in price, but you do get a ton of new features. Mostly, I think the real star of the show really is the dynamic pill.
Yep.
The dynamic, not pill, dynamic
Island.
I like how they call it dynamic.
Hey, we're all from
Dynamic pill.
I'm making my
Taking a
own
pill
line
on the
about
island.
phones, Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
So
Do you guys like the pill design? Because there were rumors that it looked like a cutout, like there was like a little slit and then like a circle. Do you guys like the new like
As
pill
one thing.
longer? Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because there is an animation where it splits
Yeah.
into like the letter I, right? Like the little elongated thing and then a circle. So I guess but I really don't have any strong feelings about it, to be honest. The notch itself never bothered me. I don't watch movies, like super high quality movies on my phone and I start to criticize the screen, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
and I don't play games on my phone aside from really silly, simple games. So I'm not overly critical about that. I'm not the demographic that will complain about it. But it is a point.
Yeah,
of
it actually bothered me a little bit when they were playing a video all of a sudden and they did put it in landscape and you can see just like the eye and then the people were like passing by and it was just like getting hit in that portion. It
Yeah.
from a watching consuming standpoint, it is I think than the notch because the notch
Yeah.
you don't have that little
There's a
gap at the
separation.
end. Yeah. So, but I could take it or leave it. I don't mind it too much.
You think you'd prefer the notch over this?
No.
Okay.
Just because of the integration. From a watching, consuming standpoint, I think the notch is better. I haven't, of course, seen it live. Might be fine. But I think at the end of the day, we'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you guys getting the regular or the Pro Max?
Oh, size?
Yeah, size wise, like
No.
Pro or Pro Max? Because I'm actually
going for the
downgrading
regular
from.
size.
Yeah, I'm going for the regular one too. I'm
Oh,
So
do you
is
have-
it
sick of-
confirmed? Is it
Do you both
confirmed though
have
that everyone's
Max?
getting one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pressure.
for sure.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I already got collabs
Yeah.
that are requiring me. Or like,
yeah,
not
that's-
requiring, but like, like I have deals coming
Yeah,
soon.
you got
So
things
It's a
lined up for
write-off,
Liz.
guys. It's a write-off.
Yeah. Wait, do you have the Max too, Renz?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, I
Me
do
too.
have the
Oh.
Max, and
Wow.
I'm at a point now where I'm like, dude, I got an iPad, I got a MacBook. Like, most of the time, like when I'm consuming content, it's either one of those two devices. So now I'm like, ah, this phone's too heavy. Like, I don't
It
want it
is
in my pocket
super
anymore.
heavy.
I have to use basically two hands to like type and text. So I'm done. Like, goodbye, Pro
Yeah,
Max.
no, I can't do that.
Can I just say that was like the most first world thing I've ever
First
Yeah.
heard.
world
I need to
Yeah.
use two hands to text.
It's true.
I need to do it
No.
one-hander,
love it.
one-hander, guys.
I get carpal tunnel from holding the phone. It's so heavy.
Yeah.
Have you
Like-
dropped it on your face while
And what
laying
about
It
down?
our
hurts.
pinkies
Oh,
too?
we've all
Like,
done that.
because sometimes I put my phone on my pinky,
Yes.
right? And it's like there's like a little slight bend.
There's a little-
I don't know. I don't know if
No,
that's
like-
real.
It's real.
a
It's
dent.
There's a dent. Like
This
Like,
just in.
100 years
injured
from
by their
now.
phones.
yeah, 100 years from now, people's pinkies are gonna have like a little indent.
I know we're gonna evolve. It's
Yeah.
it's that, and also we're gonna have longer necks because we're always like craning down, looking at our phones, and we're just typing, and maybe our
Save your
eyes will be
pinkies, guys.
lowered this time. Like, why are humans so weird in the future? It's because of the iPhone. That's why.
That is so funny.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. All right, well, but what did you guys think about the event overall? I mean, what were your impressions? Were you impressed? Were you kind of happy about it? Were you just? I mean, obviously there were some disappointments, but do you think this is a much more successful keynote compared to the previous ones? How would you rank this?
I was not that impressed until the dynamic island.
yeah.
And to be honest, yeah, that like everything else was just minor upgrades. And since the Ultra for me is not a huge deal, I was kind of bummed. But then I don't know. I think that new iPhone will be great. So yeah,
How about you, Renz?
If I had to grade it, I think it would be a 7. Like I just because I feel like the incremental upgrades from like 11 to 12 weren't that like, or 12 13, my bad, that like big, but from 13 to 14 I think has significant upgrades for people with 12s 11s. I think it's a solid upgrade for people, but other than that, I
Yeah.
think everything else was really, you know, Apple doing Apple things. And I think a lot of the rumors and leaks were somewhat true too. So
Yeah.
all of our expectations are, and I blame myself here too. Like I'll expect so much, so when like right when the event starts and you don't get what you want, then you get like disappointed. So I'm, like now every Apple event, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna like leave expectations out and just enjoy it for what they offer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, John?
Usually I like try to, or at least before, I would always like look at rumors and everything else. But more recently, I just stopped doing it. But of course, I follow some accounts that share it, and it's crazy how, like what Renzo was saying, all of the rumors were almost all spot on. When I saw the Watch Ultra, like when they had that pop out a little bit, I was like, "There's no way Apple's gonna do that pop out." And then
Me
it's
too. I thought
there,
that.
and I'm like, "What? That's
Yeah.
crazy."
Yeah.
But other than that, I do think that every time you upgrade like this, it's not necessarily for people who have the 13. I mean, of course, people will buy it still because they want to, but coming from a 12, I think even the upgrades are pretty minimal. Like just in my opinion, like honestly, if I wasn't into tech and all of that, I wouldn't necessarily advise people to upgrade. And that's an honest take on the phone. It's cool
Yeah.
thing, but it wasn't like when the 10 came out and then it was a 12. It was like, oh man, it's so
Yeah, that
cool.
was-
Yeah.
This is more of
Yeah.
like another upgrade to the 12. So the 13 was an S, the 14 is like an SS or whatever, like just another tweak. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
the 14 was what the 13 should have been, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's cool, and I'm for sure gonna get it. But the real advice there is, I don't think people will necessarily need it. Camera's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm excited for that. I haven't tried cinematic mode. Excited for the action mode. Yeah, everything else. It's cool as a tech fan to just
Yeah.
more. But
I mean,
it's
to
not
be clear, any of their
groundbreaking.
products, no one really needs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
right? No, seriously, like no one really needs any of their products. But like what John said, as a tech, maybe there's a slight hesitation to recommend them. I think is what John's trying to say because
Yeah.
it's not
No, for sure.
so dramatically. It's not a game changer. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'll force my wife to upgrade. And if she's watching right now,
So he-
we're gonna
so
upgrade
he-
your phone, babe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like the only reason why I'm getting the AirPods Pro too is I'm giving the AirPods Pro to my wife, so it's
There
a
you
nice
go.
excuse to use your wife as a.
It is
as
a very nice
upgrade.
excuse, actually.
Yeah.
A very nice excuse.
yeah.
A very convenient excuse.
Yeah. What about you,
what-
Michael? What phone are you using now? Because you had the mini, the 12 mini.
Yeah, I had the 12 mini, and then I have the
wow.
13 Pro.
Okay.
You know, after this discussion, I wasn't really sure. In the beginning, I was ready to purchase the 14 Pro. But after this discussion, I'm not really so sure. I still might, though. I'm on the fence, but I'm a little bit more inclined to do it just because I do want to try out the dynamic island. I think it's a great feature. And obviously, these phones are going to be preloaded with iOS 16, correct?
Yeah,
because that
I'm
was the
sure.
lock screen and
Think so.
everything. So yeah, I think I will do that, and then I can just give my 13 Pro to my wife
Yeah.
because she's always running out of battery with her mini. So now we have two minis that are just laying around at home. My kids are using it.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great phone. I love the mini. Actually, here's a thing for anyone who's listening who have kids. If you want to give a phone to play with, if you allow your kids to play with a phone, let them play with the mini because the battery will run out and they have no choice but to give it back. 'Cause it's like, Dad, I need to charge it. I'm like, yes, I know you need to charge it. So it's actually a really nice trick. So
That's
we're
funny.
definitely keeping the minis, and I'm most likely going to get the 14 Pro. I don't know what color though. I think I'm gonna go with white. Then the new shade of white, whatever they call it. Bone
Let's
white.
see what it's
I don't know.
called.
Name it
It's
something.
just called
Silver. It's actually
Silver.
silver.
Oh, is it silver? Okay, yeah.
So no one
I'm
is getting the
completely out.
Apple Watch, like the Series 8.
Not the
I
8.
might.
Not the
I
8.
might. Because
Yeah,
I'm on
I'm a
Series
maybe too.
4.
I may or may not have ordered the Ultra.
Did you, John?
Did you really?
I'm on the
Wait,
page
what?
right now.
What are you guys talking about?
It's for his.
I don't know what you guys are
Emily,
saying.
if you're
Alaska,
watching this,
guys.
you can send it directly to me just in case John accidentally ordered it. So.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to click on the buy button on the Series 8, but it won't let me on the page. So that's
It's
weird.
probably crashing. Everyone's on
Oh,
there.
also, so I think is it the Series 8 and the Ultra that's available right now that you can purchase?
That you
Those
can
are the
order
only two
now.
ones, right? Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
The AirPods are not available till what? The
The ninth,
23rd.
I believe.
23rd, I
Oh,
think.
23rd.
Same with the iPhone, right?
No, the iPhone is available or you
Next
can order
week.
it this Friday.
This Friday, okay. But ships on the 23rd.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. So
But
I think
the
that's pretty much it,
14
yeah.
Plus is delayed until October.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So sorry. Yeah, we can order the AirPods also this Friday, but it ships the 23rd.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Um,
What about you, Mike? Oh, you
Close-
did say you might
Oh,
not upgrade, or you might get the silver. That's where
yeah,
we're-
I'm most likely getting the silver if I do decide to get the 14 Pro. I've never done any phone reviews on my channel. This might be the first time doing it, and I'm going to be doing a terrible job at it just because I do things kind of differently. But I'm willing to try something new, and because it's a new experience for me, I want to try to share that experience as best as possible. And that's really the reason why I want to get the phone. Not because I need it, but because I feel like I need to educate myself a little bit more about phones and the technology and how they evolve. And people are curious. They want to know more about these products. And just like me, I mean, this is why we're having this conversation. As for the event itself, I thought it started really strong with the Ultra. They got me hook, line, and sinker with the Ultra. The guy who sits on his couch all day and gets really tired climbing up the stairs. I'm definitely getting it, but for the rest of the presentation, it kind of just started to go down, like not drastically. Actually, it did kind of fall like really
Yeah.
fast.
With
You
the
know,
14s.
however, it picked up a little bit when I saw the dynamic island. It's so weird because I'm more interested with the dynamic island compared to the iPhone 14 Pro. I'm just like, to me, that's just the thing I'm buying. The animation. That's the only thing I'm
We
buying.
all
It's
love
so
violence.
dumb.
And a little bit of the camera upgrade.
Yeah. It's so
Oh, I
dumb.
guess you have cinematic mode on your phone right now.
I do. I didn't even know I had it. That's why they were all laughing at me.
Yeah, that's what's fun about like I've kind of gotten into this strict like rhythm of like upgrading every 2 years. So at least when I
Yeah.
upgrade, there's a little bit more joy, I guess you
Yeah.
could say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I'm curious to see. Just want to say thank you guys again for being a part of this stream, for whoever is in the chat. I can't see the chat right now. Can you guys see the chat?
Yeah.
There's 36 people. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How awesome is that? 36 people. Hi guys.
38 is on my
38.
screen. Yeah.
So I can't name. Well, I can't. Actually, how about before we end this? Actually, first of all, I want to say thank you, Liz, John, and Renz. Thank you for finding time today. I know you guys are also really, really busy. That was a fun session to have, like to watch the Apple event
Yeah.
while texting you guys.
Yeah.
Look at that! Look at that! It's just
So many
pretty cool.
memes.
Yeah, so many memes. So before we actually close the stream, let's go through the chat. If anyone can help me, and maybe anyone's has a question or something that they want to bring up. I don't see anything. While I'm looking, I just want to say hi to Bram, Lloyd, Kyle, Slurpee, 1262, Business Starters Inc. John Lava, Apple Bias, Nicholas, who else? Chris Harvest. I saw John. Steven
Lloyd is
Strickland.
there.
Who else? So I'm scrolling all the way up because I didn't have a chat button or bubble here next to me. I think that's pretty much it. So anyone else? Does anyone have any question in particular? SH Design Company. They said enjoyed listening to you guys' opinions. Personally, I'm upgrading to the Pro Max from my and definitely getting the new AirPods Pro as mine are pretty old now. Yeah, that's a very first. Thank you. But yeah, I think that you'll feel that upgrade from the 12 to the 14.
Yeah,
You'll
I want to point
definitely
out
feel that.
there's like two comments here. One is like they're saying that in France the iPhones are 200 euros more, and then one said that in Portugal the base Apple Watch Pro will cost 1,000 euros.
I don't know
But
the
that
exchange, but
it
that sounds like a
include
lot.
tax or something.
Yeah,
Is what
yeah,
somebody was
but-
saying.
Yeah, but that's like base
That's crazy.
according to him. But yeah. Oh,
That's crazy.
Steven is asking, what are you guys hoping for the next launch?
Ooh, you want to get into that? You want to get
Just
into
real
that
quick.
real
That's
quick?
a whole nother
Just real quick. Just real
podcast.
quick.
Yeah,
Very,
no.
very
Real
quick. Very,
okay.
very quick.
Predictions. I'm gonna
I want
stand
the new
by.
iPad. I want the new
Oh, the
iPad.
new iPad. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking for a new iPad Pro. Yeah.
How about you, Liz?
MacBook. I want the M2 chip or like M2 Pro, whatever.
Mm.
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting.
How about you, Renz?
32-inch studio display.
Actually,
good one.
though, yes.
That's a good one.
32-inch.
I don't think it's happening, but yes, I agree. I wish that too.
I'm gonna be the outlier here. I want a better Apple TV. I've not.
Oh,
I don't have an experience. I don't have experience with the current model. Actually, was hoping that they would announce something because I wanted to try it. But from everyone that I hear, it's still the most reliable and best experience when it comes to like launching apps and stuff. Because I
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
100-something plus 2-year-old NVIDIA Shield that is slower than a $30 Google Chromecast that I can get from Walmart or something like that. It's $50 or something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how I spend so much
Yeah.
money on something only to slow down as the days progress. It's just like, what is going on here? But it seems like the Apple TV is the thing.
Yes.
And also, knowing Apple, they're kind of building their library of movies and shows. I'm still waiting. There's a couple of shows that there's one show that actually I'm waiting for before I decide to try it out. So I'm waiting for that. That's why I'm kind of positioning myself for the new Apple TV.
Yeah.
speakers, I think their speakers are already great. Whatever they have, well, they don't have the HomePod anymore. They have the mini, but not the
Yeah.
full size HomePods. Maybe they're coming out with speakers. I don't know because I heard that I think who's the other company that makes really expensive speakers?
Sonos.
Sonos has a new project that they're releasing soon. Did you guys see that post that I did with the B&O, Bowers and Bang and Olufsen speaker, the sound bar?
Yeah.
Did you see that,
Yeah.
Renz? Did you see
Yeah,
how much
I
that
saw
sound
that.
bar was? It's like
Yeah,
$7,000.
Yeah, it's insane. So I can't
Like this
can't
better
imagine that.
this thing better talk to my soul at that price. It's so expensive. But I'm curious. I don't know. So maybe for the next launch, to answer your question, yeah, I would definitely want a new Apple TV and maybe speakers. That's what I want. All right. So anything else? Brand
Apple Car.
said- Apple Car. So
Apple.
Just kidding.
speculations, predictions. They're never going to make a car,
Yeah, no.
but they will make the software for a car.
Yeah.
That's
Well-
that's going to be their game because something that they can insert their services into without having to carve a new, I don't know, space in the market. Like obviously there's
That's
so
what
many car
CarPlay
makers.
is.
Exactly, that's what
Yeah.
CarPlay is.
Yeah.
That's why in the last keynote they shared like this universal CarPlay, but that's never going to happen though. Because can you imagine how every automaker needs to conform to those whatever requirements that they have for the screen size, for the chip or technology, whatever it is. And I don't think they're going to do that just for Apple. So,
I don't know. I think it's not for Apple. It's for consumers. I think most consumers would require cars to have it. And so if you're not offering it, they're going to go to a competitor that has that because that's how many users Apple has.
Yeah.
And so it's more of a play on consumers.
But they're also by doing that though, they're basically saying bye-bye to every Android user.
Yeah.
So, because Apple has a very strict and specific way of delivering that CarPlay experience, especially from the thing that they showed.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that's gonna work. It could be just like broad strokes, like this is the great plan in the future. But I don't think they're gonna make an Apple car. They will most likely partner with a brand, a manufacturer, a startup or something that will have a completely new everything from the ground up, and they will be the sole provider of that UI experience or that user experience for that car company. But I don't think they'll make a car. Maybe in the next 30 years we'll see, but not anytime soon. I don't think so. Any other questions?
30 years?
I'm
That's
just
so
throwing out numbers
far
out
out.
I know. Whoa, was that a pun for the event? So far out.
Far-
That's
yeah,
the name of
far-
the keynote today, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were just making a pun. Okay, so I could see an Apple branded TV. An Apple branded TV is something that I've been hearing because they were saying that the only market. Actually, I did say that the only thing that Apple needs to really dominate at this point is TV, because that's the one device that everyone pretty much has at home. Not everyone, but most people have at home. The unifying device that basically trickles out to everything from speakers to like just basically everything else. The one thing that we always look at is the TV. And if Apple can dominate that market, they can make a TV. That's fantastic. They have really awesome screens, right? So imagine the Pro Display XDR or something, but TV form, hopefully cheaper. That would be fantastic. Also, I told Liz that it would be interesting if they start making microphones.
That would be cool.
Right? Like one of the things that
that would be
always
really
people, I mean, the iPhone has great microphones, but you always see the third parties, companies basically creating these attachment microphones that you can use on your iPhone. But what if Apple made something that has their special, I don't know, technology for even reliable connectivity, and it's super simple. You can just pin it somewhere, and it's just like captures awesome audio. I'm like, So that's one of the things.
They're gonna put people like Rode out of business.
Yeah, dude.
But
I'm
we
just
love
kidding.
Rode. We
Bye
love
bye,
Yeah.
Rode. We love
Everybody's
Rode.
like sponsored by.
We do love Rode. Okay.
Yeah, all three
Anyways.
of you. Well, I do too, but Road is showing up on all your streams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle mentioned that the latest Vergecast talks about this. Yes, I think that's where I've heard it from. They were talking about the TV and how that's like the thing. And yes, I think that is the one that I heard it from. Very interesting. So if you guys don't listen to, if you guys love tech and want to listen to like a podcast that's just super geeky and just dives into like this type of conversation, Vergecast for
Love it.
sure. Really, really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, the magic. My arm
Sweet.
Brian.
We still have 27 people.
Yes.
Thanks for
Well,
listening to us.
Thank you for
Lab.
listening. It was a
Yes.
fun session. I think if all things work as I'm hoping that they would work, this should be in the channel. I mean, this is live, but after this, it should go on the channel, live. Not live. You know what I mean. Anyway, so, well, thank you guys. Again, this is Michael. Thank you, Liz, John, and Renz. Before we say goodbye to everyone, can you guys share your social media handles and where they can find you?
Sure. You guys can find me at Liz Loves Tech on Instagram and TikTok, and Liz D'Amato on YouTube.
You guys can also find me at Ren Sadiwa on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yep, and you can find me by searching John Imperial, Jon Imperial, on almost all platforms.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. This was a great conversation. We'll do better next time. I'll have a dedicated chat thingy here so that I can address more of the questions or
Yeah.
comments. I definitely want to include everyone in the chat in any future live streams. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the event. Send us a DM, a tweet, whatever. You guys can find us on social. Would love to hear from you. All right. Well, thank you and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Spend all your money. Bye.
Hide your wallets.
Hide your wallet.